Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. Hogwarts Legacy lead designer used to run anti-social justice YouTube channel from, well, the cesspool of internet rags called Kotaku. Well, where else would you find an actual smear campaign and a smear article with not even a single shred in basis in reality? I kind of butchered the entire sentence in there, didn't I? Well, it happens. After all, and I'm a beautiful retard. It happens, really. Anyway, this is by Ian Walker, so who else could it be? Troy Leavitt is a lead designer at Warner Bros. Development studio Avalanche Software, currently working on controversial Harry Potter game Hogwarts Legacy. Why is it controversial? Oh, yes. It has to be controversial because that's exactly what it sells for those filthy fucking rags. And even more so, because the guy dares to have a different type of opinion. Anyway, he also ran a reactionary. Why is it called reactionary when in fact you filthy imbeciles, you cancerous tumors, your cancerous cells, are in fact the ones attacking good old games? I'm not talking about GOG Store. I'm talking about the games itself. Oh well, in fact the entire culture, the entire society. You people are in fact the cancerous tumors. Anyway, YouTube channel focused on attacking feminism and social justice for over a year. Not really, he hasn't posted anything in over 3 years, and nothing of the content he shared was even in fact controversial. This information was provided by Tsutsuno Gamer contributor Liam Robinson, who highlighted the channel Friday evening on Twitter. An accompanying screenshot shows a small portion of Leavitt's YouTube channel with video titles such as The Injustice of Social Justice, which is factual, in praise of cultural appropriation, factual, are thought crimes becoming real, the latter of reference to George Orwell's dystopic sci-fi novel 1984, which is pretty much becoming reality. Right-wing commentators often use the book's authoritarian Big Brother government as a comparison point in their criticism, likening the fictional surveillance state to real-world equality movements, which is pretty much factual. As you can see here, you are pretty much proving what he said are thought crimes becoming real as correct. Because not only are you trying to cancel him for his opinion of being not following the mainstream mentality or the current narrative or the control left, so he becomes cancelled. That's why you're advocating for his cancellation. Obviously, I'm not going to even bother reading everything else in this article because a lot of it is entirely written for bullshit purposes only. It makes you want to kill yourself after you read this article, trust me. I'm just weeding out the most important bits. Anyway, Leavitt didn't respond to Kotaku's multiple requests for comment in time for publication. Well, let me say that nobody should even bother in trying to reply to Kotaku because, quite frankly, why would you waste time on a rag, on the internet's, no, on the gaming news internet cesspit? If you think PC Gamer or other websites of dubious content or dubious shenanigans, kind of like IGN, for instance, or GameSpot, Kotaku is that cesspool. You think that PC Gamer is a toilet, a filthy fucking dirty toilet that hasn't been cleaned in years and only received shit, diarrhea shit? That is the shit. Kotaku is the shit. Anyway, let's move on. A veteran developer, Leavitt got his start as a consultant on games like 1996 Twisted Metal 2 and 1997 Jet Moto 2, eventually moving on to a long stint at Disney. He contributed to a variety of licensed games and directed several Disney Infinity expansions before leaving the company in July 2016. Let me put it this way, Twisted Metal and Twisted Metal 2 had their own, which I ended up renting and playing a little bit as a kid, and then Twisted Metal 3, which is what I own for PlayStation, is awesome sauce. Trust me. So if the guy did this, it means he knows his shit. He knows what is... Okay, it's hot. Trust me. You don't want me to develop Swamp Ass in the middle of this video. Otherwise I become the Swamp Thing. And I become... Cancerous. Either way, let's move on because it's a drag. Alright, so they didn't seem to... Here it is, something that will give you hope. Give you hope that maybe games companies are starting to stand up to the cancel culture, to the mafia, to the filthy fucking mafia, the gangs. You know, the protection racket where you actually have to pay for protection from these people. You go on and say, kind of like in the gangs or the mafia you see on games and TV shows, or back in the days, or how it worked. In reality, the gang will get there and say, oh look, you haven't paid your protection for this month or this week. So imagine if the rival gang comes in and does this, boop, and then your vase of flowers falls to the floor. And you look at it and say, oh shit, you got to pay, moron, you got to pay for protection here, I'm gonna pay. That's pretty much exactly the same thing of what is happening with the pronoun mafia, pronoun gangs. You gotta pay. Anyway, quote, some of you have expressed that, due to my commentary on some game industry controversies and my sympathies for the Gamergate movement, that I might have a difficult time should I ever want to return to professional game development, end quote. Leavitt said, I'm happy to say that, even though I disclosed my YouTube channel to Warner Brother Games or WB Games, it didn't appear to be an issue for them. Not that they endorse anything that I've said, of course, but at least they seem more concerned with making good games than with pushing some kind of social justice agenda. So, there is hope, end quote. Exactly, so there is indeed hope, and that's something that I wanted to highlight in this article more than anything else. And you know, one of the reasons why many people of the control left, including Reset Era and all their filthy shenanigans or filthy rags, like the, well, as you know, Reset Era, which is pretty much the dirtiest toilet you're ever going to find in your entire life, is, dedicated on fucking filthy shenanigans. As in, they absolutely hate Harry Potter. Well, they used to love Harry Potter, but until a certain writer, J.K. Rowling, said that transgender men are not quite women and they shouldn't belong on female sports, they got cancelled and they started to hate it. And now they have a very huge hate boner against Harry Potter. So, as you know, Harry Potter... This is water that I just sprayed myself. So Harry Potter is already in thin ice with these people, so anything for them to actually try and criticize Harry Potter or even the game itself, they're gonna latch onto it and cling it with nails like cats when they go on your sofa or in your couch trying to declaw themselves. So, and even come to my attention that Reset Era moderators or admins are trying to censor all discussions related to Harry Potter, Hogwarts, Legacy, or things like that. But another thing that I would like to... here it is. Many fans have expressed concerns over Leavitt's involvement with Hogwarts Legacy since his YouTube history came up a few days ago, spurred on by the controversies already surrounding the upcoming game. Several users on popular gaming forum recent era have asked moderators to ban Hogwarts Legacy discussion altogether due to both Rowling's influence on the franchise and Leavitt's work as lead designers, a request moderators seems to be taking seriously. As in other cases and situations, this is due to because people are so fragile in there that they absolutely fucking need to be cuddled and oh, don't cry, it's just words. These filthy people. Hogwarts Legacy, lead design destroy Lego Game Development used to be anti-Semitic pro Gamegate. I'm actually surprised they Kotaku used. Oh. They may not have used. That's, yeah, they haven't used the archive, that is. This is because archive.is used it. Anyway, let's see, not even, it's not every name in the credits, it's a freaking director, obviously the well-known zero game developer. I do not know why those people keep going to that filthy cesspool. Somebody's going to be talking over how to handle this game. For now, please try to keep discussion civil. We'll let everyone know once we have the chance to have a talk. Don't worry, it's gonna get censored. Censored. I'm better move on before I get cancer. Anyway, video games are made by massive teams of people with vastly different backgrounds, viewpoints, and opinions, which in that case, viewpoints and opinions are in fact, if they are different from the narrative, you are gonna get cancelled, unpersoned, and sent to the gulag. Or in this case, re-education and reconciliation camps. As a lead designer, it's very unlikely Leavitt has single-handedly infected every aspect of Hogwarts Legacy with an anti-feminist agenda. Quite interesting the use of words here, infected. This is pretty rich, coming out from the cancerous growth that not only is the woke movement, but the cancerous growth that is Kotaku. Quite frankly, it's amusing and quite unironic. That's a cut from my nose, isn't it? Anyway, it's quite fascinating, isn't it? How dare the cancerous growth call normal cells infectious? And do these people even look in the mirror and look at them and say, oh, look at that, that's a cancer. Oh, Jesus Christ, oh my God. Oh my, dearly, God, that's a cancerous cell. I better not even mention the word infected because I'm infected the entire god body. Obviously they don't do that because they are absolutely fucking imbeciles with complete and total lack of self-awareness. They are NPCs. And the programming of the NPC here at Kotaku is absolutely shoddy at best. Probably done by a diversity hire. Or made in China, who knows? Quite frankly, let's finish this before I actually get cancer. That said, it's obvious why folks may be wary of interacting with a game developer by someone with his beliefs. Obviously, here we go, and the infectious disease. Adapted from works that have been sullied by their creators' own bigoted worldview. Jesus Christ, you couldn't even be more fucking filthy, infectious, cancerous growth. You're a tumor! Harry Potter might not be my personal cup of tea. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he used to be. But I feel for those who have seen something they cherish growing up become such a minefield of intolerance. Isn't intolerance what you are doing right now? You're advocating for the cancellation of someone for not sharing your ideas. Which is pretty much the very definition of the wrong thing, or as you like to rag on the person, as you saw here, right-wing commentators often use the book's authoritarian Big Brother government as a comparison point in their criticism, likening the fictional surveillance state to real-world equality movements. It's pretty much exactly what you just did at the end of your article. Are you even aware of what you're saying, you imbecile? Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. He's an NPC, he's not even aware. But the problem is that this is not the only shitty article that comes out in Attack or Leavitt. Look at this. It's from Pink News. What else? Far right. Far right. Jesus Christ. Isn't it interesting that far left? See, I'm using their vocabulary. Harry, news outlets love to cancel people. Anyway, far left news rag called Pink News says, far-right Harry Potter video game designer raged at feminists and social justice warriors on YouTube. Let's see what this far-left rag that calls itself news has to say. Gamergate involved in online harassment against primarily women and people of color. You know, when they use this word here, I always assume the actual original racists from the 1920s who used the word colored people. That's exactly what I'm going to, what it means with these imbeciles. But either way, what he just said here about Gamergate is an absolute fucking false statement. Gamergate was not about that, and the harassment that you imbeciles received was mostly from yourselves faking it. Yes, there's actually a large amount of evidence showing that you people lied about it. Anyway, let's finish this, because this is cancerous too. Of color in games, industry and press, and concern the relationship between journalists and developers. You know, the bitch who went on and sucked dick to get a positive review of her crappy game, yes. The movement, ostensibly related to ethics in games journalism, and is considered one of the first outright online movements. That's pretty rich, coming from a far-left news rag who actually advocates for socialism, and socialism is responsible for millions upon millions upon millions of deaths. Even today, it's still responsible for millions upon millions of deaths. It's still causing deaths around. Let's move on to the next. Because you think that the far left publications are going to stop at just of those idiots? Nah. It is one from Screen Rat. Hogwarts Legacy lead designer has history of anti-social justice content. Like that's a goddamn fucking crime. Because quite frankly, anybody with two brain or two neurons to rub together and spark a little idea or a little thought or personality is going to stand against social justice warriors or social justice content. Because, let me put it this way, a social justice warrior will manage to close in the entire environment, let's say a school, let's go something random, a facility. It's going to close that facility, take all the stairs out, and close that facility for equality for people with wheelchair. When an actual person, someone who actually cares about a wheelchair-bound person, will advocate for the facility to stay open, to have the stairs, and add a ramp for that person with a wheelchair to use. See the difference? This is why people are against social justice warriors and in favor of an actual person who actually cares about the rights of other individuals. That's why. Filthy fucking rags. Let's go take a look. Look at the amount of text you're being paid by the word, aren't you? But that's not also the only one, because here we go from Funbite. Lead designer of Hogwarts Legacy used to be an anti-social justice YouTuber. You know, they actually intercommunicate between themselves and try to find out who are they going to cancel next. And they get their articles to follow a pattern. And they are notorious in some secret Facebook groups. They actually do have that. Many leaks have happened from these groups in the past. So I'm not surprised if this guy gets eventually fired, despite Warner Bros. Saying that they had no problem with it. But as you all know, these people buckle easily by the pressure of the cancel culture mob. It's disheartening, really. The cancer is winning. Unfortunately for us, normal cells, normal working cells, you know, normal cells you have in your own body are dying. And soon, the only thing is going to be left is a cancerous growth. Not a cancerous growth, multiple cancerous growths with gangrene and other filthy fuck pumping out with pus like a goddamn fucking Nurgle follower. Hey, good analogy. These people are like Nurgles or orcs, Nurgles followers and things like that. Fascinating. Fascinating. Anyway. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for this channel to grow, because I absolutely need it to grow, because YouTube absolutely hates me. Don't forget to share it, please, please, pretty please. I'm gonna eat bag here. I'm definitely not going to do a certain thing that a certain someone who started the game movement by sucking dick. I'm not gonna suck dick. Anyway, don't forget to okay. YouTube, don't forget to stay here, or right here on youtube.com/Dr. Jester. I nearly fumbled my outro again. Or if you want more spicy content, head to minds.com/Dr. Jester for exclusive spicy content. This goddamn cat fur everywhere. God damn it, fucking furball. I think I got it. Hey, don't blame me, there's no pause feature in Streamlabs OBS. Imbeciles, they need to get cracking on that one. So, thank you for watching. Good night.